Hello and welcome back to episode 12 of Coffee with Kelsey, your weekly pour of inspiration, motivation, and a little behind the scenes realness from the world of dance and creative entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Kelsey Kizina, and today I want to talk to you about something that has changed my life over and over again. Starting. Before you feel ready, even when it's messy, even when it's scary, even when your inner critic is screaming that you need to wait until you're more prepared. If you've been holding yourself back, this episode is for you. Coffee with Kelsey is brought to you by ballroomdancecoach.com, 7-time award-winning instruction, helping dancers of all levels maximize their progress and express themselves on the dance floor. Okay, let's be real. How often have you said, I'll start when I lose 10 pounds. I'll launch it when my website is done. I'll post that dance video when it's perfect. I'll compete when I feel more like a real dancer. We've all been there. That feeling that we're not ready. But here's the truth. Ready? It's a lie. Ready is fear wearing a polished mask. It's procrastination dressed up as perfectionism. And if you wait until you're 100% ready, you'll never take the first step. Think back on something huge that happened in your life, something that changed you for the better. Was it a new partnership, a relationship, a performance, moving cities? Did you actually feel ready? Or did you do it anyway? The magic doesn't come from being ready. It comes from being brave. Let me take you back to one of the hardest moments in my life, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I had just broken my foot, not rolled an ankle, not bruised a toe, a full-on fracture. As a dancer, that felt like the ultimate betrayal. My body, my instrument, my home, my career, it was suddenly not available to me. And that was scary. It was very frustrating and humbling. At first, I did what most dancers or athletes do. I tried to push through it. I downplayed it. I said, I'll be back in no time. But healing, that didn't go on my timeline. It was really slow and incredibly painful, not just physically, but also emotionally. When you're forced to pause, you're also forced to confront all the thoughts that come up. Thoughts like, what if I never get back to where I was? What if everyone forgets about me? And what if this changes everything? And I'll be honest, there were days I wondered if my career was over. If my identity as a dancer would be taken away from me for good. But here's what no one tells you. Sometimes that comeback, it's the most powerful part of the story. And once I was cleared to move again, I had a choice. Start over, even though I felt rusty, scared, and behind, or keep waiting for that perfect moment that would never come. So I started training again, even though my balance was off. I started teaching again, even when I couldn't demo full out. And I showed up at the studio, even when the imposter syndrome screamed, "You're not ready." And slowly, movement became strength. Strength became confidence, and confidence became momentum. Coming back after injury showed me something I had forgotten. You don't have to be at your peak to show up with purpose. You just have to be willing. And let me tell you, starting again after you've been broken, that's not weakness. That's power. Starting creates movement, and movement creates clarity. When you start, even if it's awkward or messy, you gather data. You get feedback and you grow confidence. You become the version of you who can handle the things you're afraid of. And let me say that again. You don't become ready and then start. You start, and that's how you become ready. It's like in dance when you're at a competition. Your first round on the floor never feels amazing, and honestly, it feels horrible most of the time. But by the time that final rolls around, you're warm, you're grounded, and you're in it. Momentum builds belief. So let's give ourselves permission to be beginners again, to be vulnerable, to stumble, to learn in real time. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have perfect choreography, the perfect brand, or the perfect business plan. You just need to be willing to begin and the courage to keep going. Growth is messy. Art is messy. Life is messy. And thank goodness for that, because it means we keep moving forward and keep evolving. So let's normalize a few things. The wrong outfit, the wrong camera angle, that not quite finished idea, the shaky voice on your first podcast episode. And because of those first steps, yeah, they're scary, but they're the start of something extraordinary. So here are a few journal prompts or reflection questions I'll leave you with. What have I been putting off until I feel ready? What's the smallest next step I can take today? What am I afraid might happen if I start? And what's the truth? What version of me am I waiting to become that I can start stepping into right now? Take a deep breath and really feel those. You don't need a big leap. You just need the next step. So here's your pep talk. You don't need another certification. You don't need to shrink until it's safe. You are allowed to take up space right now. You're allowed to be seen before you feel fully polished. Start that class, launch that project, enter the competition, send the pitch, dance the dance, post that video, tell your story. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more people willing to start. And my friend, that includes you. If this episode gave you that nudge you needed, share it with a fellow dreamer or message me on Instagram at Kelsey Kizina. I love hearing what resonated with you. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a cup of motivation here on Coffee with Kelsey. This season, we're diving deeper than ever into the raw, real stories of life in the arts, triumphs, struggles, and everything in between. So make sure you're subscribed, grab your coffee, and join me next week for another episode. Until next time, be bold, be brave, and remember, you're allowed to start before you feel ready.